Moving with the times, I actually think it can be a really, really scary concept sometimes to recognize that things that you've grown up doing or experiencing or even having are no longer relevant or are slowly becoming less relevant in today's society. Now, I've noticed this in lots of different ways, and I've even noticed how, like, Gen Zers are starting to kind of recreate trends from the past. I've noticed CD players are starting to make a little bit of a comeback in some videos that I've been watching on YouTube and things like this. But essentially, there is a lot to be said for moving with the times. And so, in today's episode, which is actually my season 2 finale episode, I'm going to be explaining to you how I myself am going to be moving with the times with this very podcast. Because you see, for 87 episodes, I have kept this podcast an audio only version because I've always grown up with podcast being this, never like with the video concept. And so when I launched Lessons from the Boot, I decided that I really wanted to maintain that. And in a way, podcasting for me was something that was easy to do. I didn't have to get dressed up. I didn't have to put makeup on. I didn't have to think about my backdrop. I could just turn on my mic, turn on my laptop, and just start nattering away. But I have seen that video is really dominating every single platform at the moment, and it is the future, whether you like it or not, of pretty much any social platform. And so I've recognized that when my podcast gets automatically published to YouTube, it absolutely tanks. The views pale in comparison to my actual video views on my channel. And I've also seen that on Spotify, they are prioritizing video podcasts over audio only ones. And so I have decided it is time for me to move with the times. And season 3 of this podcast will be a video podcast. Now, you'll still be able to listen to it in an audio only format, but if you prefer to watch a video, you will also have that option starting from season 3. Now, in a way, I'm a bit like, it's an end of an era. I've wanted to hold on to this audio only format for as long as I could. However, on the other hand, I'm pretty excited about this because I'm going to take a break now until October. So season 3 will recommence in October 2025, depending on when you're listening to this. And I will, in that time, design a bit of a podcast space in my studio. So I have a studio at the moment where I work from, where I do my videos sometimes, because I also do videos in other parts of my house as well. But I'm actually going to design a bit of a set for my podcast, so it looks a bit different from my YouTube videos for when I post to that particular platform. So in a way, I'm a bit excited about this. You know, it's another little project that I can work on. And actually, it is something that was on my vision board for this year, actually having like a bit of a podcast studio. So, you know, it's quite exciting in that sense. But I think it is just a reminder of this. I touched on this in a recent video on my YouTube channel, but people are so afraid of like new things and want to hold on to the old. It's that sense of nostalgia. But essentially, we have to progress and we have to move forward. It doesn't do anyone any favors if you are still trying to hold on to the way life was 20 years ago, because unfortunately, aspects of that life are no longer supported in today's society. And so I reflected a little bit on this, and, you know, it got me thinking as well. Do you remember Blockbuster, the big video rental giant that, you know, I used to go to even as a teenager, like to rent videos and DVDs when they came out? And I remember that, you know, it was so normal to go there like on a Friday night and rent out a DVD or something that we wanted to watch. But they didn't survive because they didn't move with the times. As soon as online streaming became something that, you know, could be a possibility for the future, they shunned that idea because they believed that renting DVDs would still be popular going into the future. And look how wrong they were. Things could have been so different for them had they actually moved with the times. And it's this, and I see it also now with artificial intelligence, AI, like people shunning AI, having this really negative association with it, when actually you've got to move with the times and embrace it. You don't have to include AI in every aspect of your life. You don't even have to use every single tool that's available. But I do think AI can support certain parts of your life if you let it. And I think if you choose to shun it completely, you really risk the chance of being left behind and, not benefiting from the changes that are happening. It all stems back down to change. As I've said in so many other episodes, people are so afraid of change, but you don't need to be. I think you've just got to embrace it and you've got to move with the times. And so that is what is happening with my podcast. I've honestly had a great run at just having an audio only podcast, but I'm now excited to move it into a video format as well. So I'm going to be taking a break now until October, as I've said before. And then when I come back, I will be back in my podcast studio. And that makes me very, very excited indeed. So how can you move with the times in your life? What are some things that you can do differently to level your life, update your life even, and improve the life that you are living? I will see you in season 3.